Catherine here. I've been helping people suffering from kidney disease avoiding dialysis for more than 10 years now. And I'm here today to tell you that there is hope for your kidneys, even if you are in stage 4 or 5 of CKD. But before I do that, let me ask you a question. How many of you like milk? Well, I used to love milk before I found out that milk and dairy products in general are too high in phosphorus, and they can actually be harmful for basically anyone suffering from kidney disease. But hey, the bright side is that replacing these foods with foods that can actually help the kidneys can make a tangible difference. That's right. And this is one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned over these years. And it's a simple lesson. There are supplements, treatments, dietary changes, and lifestyle choices that can make a difference, that can help you improve your GFR numbers. But they only work if you are doing your best to make them work. This means that you have to be proactive, informed, and motivated to take care of your kidneys. You have to be willing to learn about your condition and learn what adjustments to your diet and lifestyle are the most useful. This is why if you've been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease stage 4 or 5, you should never lose hope. You should never stop trying to get better, no matter the stage of kidney disease you are in, no matter what your doctor may have told you. This is why today I want to share with you 6 steps every single CKD patient in stage 4 and 5 pre-dialysis should be taking in order not just to stop the decline of their GFR, but to improve their numbers. Yes, this is possible, says science. So let's start with what I consider the most powerful superfood in the world when it comes to improving your GFR. This is a favorite of vegans because it is one of the best plant-based sources of iron in existence. It's also incredibly high in calcium, with over 26 times the calcium in milk. And it contains many of the vitamins someone with kidney problems needs the most, including vitamin B1, B3, and B6, and also folic acid, vitamin C, and more. I'm talking about spirulina. Yes, this is a superfood I always want in my diet. And I recommend taking around 1 teaspoon of spirulina before going to sleep for many reasons actually. First of all, it can help decrease blood sugar levels, which is incredibly helpful for those with diabetes. If that isn't enough, spirulina can also help controlling blood pressure significantly, as well as cholesterol levels and body weight. Various studies confirm all these properties, as you can see here. Yes, spirulina is amazing, and researchers believe that these very positive kidney protecting benefits are due to the powerful antioxidant effect this alga has in the body. We also know that, in general, 1 to 8 grams per day of spirulina has been shown to produce benefits. So here's my advice about this superfood. Take it in the evening or before going to bed. The reason is the high content of tryptophan in spirulina. This is an essential amino acid that the body uses to produce both serotonin, which is key for mental health, and melatonin. Melatonin is the sleep hormone, and having a food rich in tryptophan before sleep may be a serious help in sleeping better, which is key to protect the kidneys. Yes, this explains, at least in part, why spirulina is so good for you. And while I don't recommend spirulina to those suffering from autoimmune diseases such as lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, this superfood has too many benefits not to be part of a real diet. And make sure you find a brand that certifies the purity of the product. Now, when it comes to spirulina, also keep in mind that it's a protein source. For example, if you take half tablespoon of spirulina or 3.5 grams, you'll be getting around 2 grams of protein. And while that's not too much, you still want to make sure you are keeping track of all the protein you are getting every day, spirulina included. And guys, it's clear that managing protein in the renal diet is one of the most important aspects of managing kidney disease. But I won't go too much in depth about that today. So if you want to know more about this part of the treatment for kidney disease, please watch my video up here and also down in the description. Now, a very important question, and I'm sure many of you are wondering the same thing. Is it really possible to improve your GFR in stage 4 and 5 of CKD? The answer is yes. It is possible. And I'm not just saying that because I want you to feel better. I'm saying that based on scientific evidence from a study published in the journal PLOS ONE. This study analyzed the data of 406 patients with CKD. The researchers found that 62 patients, 15.3%, showed a sustained improvement in their GFR over time with an average increase of 1.88 milliliters per minute per year. These patients who reversed kidney disease progression had various types of CKD, and many of them were in stage 5 pre-dialysis. So, what does this mean for you? It means that you have a chance to improve your kidney health even if you are in the advanced stages of CKD. It means that you should not give up on your kidneys, but rather work with your doctor to find the best treatment plan for your condition. It means that you should follow the steps that I'm going to outline today, which are based on the most recent scientific breakthroughs and are proven to help slow down or reverse the progression of CKD. Now, the aim of this study was not just to prove that GFR improvement is possible in CKD patients at any stage through stage 4 and 5, but also to identify what factors are associated with GFR improvement, alright? Very important question. What factors are key to reverse the decline of GFR? In the study we just examined, a higher number of therapeutic targets achieved directly correlated with an increased chance of stopping or reversing the decline of CKD. It's clear that we want to be 100% sure we are actually achieving these targets. The study outlined 5 therapeutic targets. Let's see what they are. First, blood pressure. It's clear that managing this aspect is crucial. Second is proteinuria. Spoiler alert, this turned out to be the most important factor. More about this later in this video. Third, use of renin-angiotensin system blocker. Fourth, also very important, the number of complications present. Anemia, hyperphosphatemia, metabolic acidosis, and hyperkalemia. Solving these complications really made a huge difference. Fifth, diabetes. Also very important to manage, obviously. So, let's see how are you supposed to achieve the targets outlined by this very important study. Keeping your pressure in check was the first point on the list. Guys, I cannot stress how important it is to maintain a pressure below 130 over 80 millimeters of mercury. Make sure you are not over this limit. Now, in my videos, I usually focus on natural ways to achieve this very important target. Regular exercise, limiting sodium consumption, keeping the right weight, and even certain natural supplements are all going to help. But you know, not everyone is able to keep their blood pressure in check without medications. And that's fine. It's not your fault. You can still take medications for blood pressure and improve, but you have to make sure you are taking the right ones. Now, this is a bit of complex topic. Now, another very important therapeutic target is controlling diabetes, according to this study. Improvers had diabetes mellitus less often than non-improvers. What this means is that someone with diabetes is less likely to improve, unfortunately. But it's not impossible to improve, even if you have diabetes. Actually, of the 62 people that improved their GFR, 9 had diabetes. But also keep in mind that diabetes can be reversed, and this is key to protect the kidneys. And I've talked more in depth about diabetes and how to control it in my video up here and also down in the description. Now, there is something even more important than diabetes and high blood pressure. Don't skip the next point if you want to have the biggest chance possible of reversing the decline of your GFR numbers. Step 5. Take care of the complications. Complications are, in short, all those issues that are caused by kidney disease and that can actually damage the kidneys. Hyperphosphatemia, metabolic acidosis, anemia, hyperkalemia, and elevated parathyroid hormone. They all need to be taken care of if present. Now, the problem with complications is that most doctors overlook them. Anemia is a typical example. Anemia causes a lot of issues, including fatigue, and there is no doubt that it makes GFR decline at a faster rate. Now the biggest problem, not enough patients are being treated and most patients are not even actually being tested. This is why I encourage you to get informed about it if you have any of the symptoms including fatigue, shortness of breath, headaches, but also cold hands and feet. Watch my video about anemia if you miss it. It's up here and also down in the description. Now, thyroid problems are also underdiagnosed, just like anemia. Most people who have thyroid problems are not actually diagnosed. Hypothyroidism, which is a condition where the thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid hormones, is especially common in those with CKD. Hyperthyroidism can cause symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, cold intolerance, dry skin, hair loss, constipation, depression, and cognitive impairment. However, some of these symptoms may overlap with those of CKD or other comorbidities, making it difficult to diagnose hyperthyroidism in people with CKD. Ask your doctor to be tested. Thyroid problems can be treated and this may lead to an improvement in kidney function. Another very common and dangerous complication is hyperphosphatemia, or too high phosphorus levels. Hyperphosphatemia is often present when metabolic acidosis, or too much acidity in the body, is also present. They can all be dealt with the right diet, a diet without meat, dairy, fish, and processed foods. Hyperkalemia, or too high potassium levels, is another complication that many patients have to deal with. Now, this is a controversial issue. You see, for decades, high potassium levels were considered mainly caused by reduced GFR and by foods rich in potassium. Today, we know that is not the case. What actually causes hyperkalemia are conditions such as unmanaged diabetes, metabolic acidosis, but also taking ARBs and ASI. Eating less potassium doesn't really help keeping potassium levels under control. If you have any of these, make sure you are being tested and treated adequately because they can make your GFR numbers decline faster. And by the way, I made a full video about each of these complications. So if you need to know more about any of them, just ask in the comment section and I will give you a link. Number 6. This is probably the most important step in order to reverse the decline of your GFR numbers. Step 6. Beat proteinuria. This step is definitely one of the most important things you can do to help your kidneys. Proteinuria, also known as protein in urine or albuminuria, is the most powerful predictor of kidney function decline in all the stages, which means that there is no improving if proteinuria level is not under control, and this is true for people in all the stages of kidney disease. So when it comes to proteinuria, our goal should be to keep this level below 30 milligrams per gram, because as we can see here, the higher is proteinuria, the higher the chance of kidney disease progressing to a worse stage. Okay, so how do you make sure your proteinuria is not too high? There are various strategies that actually work. There is a vitamin that's needed to keep proteinuria under control. There are foods that can help. And of course, there are medications that can be used. There are actually 2 new medications that doctors are just starting to prescribe and that can make a huge difference with proteinuria and consequently with CKD. I've talked more in depth about this in my recent video. It's up here. Supplementing 2 micrograms of this vitamin resulted in a reduction in proteinuria levels of 34%. And this is key to protect and improve your kidney health. In this video, 10 tips that are actually supported by science to get rid of proteinuria and improve your GFR. The line between dialysis and reversing kidney disease is as thin as a strand of hair. And what's that crucial factor? It's keeping a watchful eye on proteinuria, which is basically like your kidney saying, hey, we've got a problem here. Picture this, if your proteinuria levels are out of whack, your kidney function is sprinting downhill faster than a cat chasing a laser pointer. Proteinuria, or having too much protein in the urine, is both the first symptom of kidney disease and a serious cause of kidney damage. But here's the good news. I've got 10 tips to share with you today that can help you keep the pesky proteinuria under control, and in doing so, your kidneys are going to thank you by staying strong and healthy. Keep in mind that these tips will help anyone with kidney disease no matter what their proteinuria levels are, and also people with diabetes or high blood pressure that just want to protect their kidneys. So let's see immediately 10 things everyone could do to protect their kidneys and start improving right now. Number 10. Take omega-3s. These little gems are like the superheroes of the supplement world, known for their cardioprotective and cholesterol-lowering powers. But did you know that science has something even more intriguing to say about them? A meta-analysis of 10 randomized controlled clinical trials published on the journal PLOS ONE concluded that supplementing omega-3 fatty acids can improve proteinuria levels in people with type 2 diabetes significantly. Yes, science tells us that these essential fatty acids can really help with proteinuria. Just like number 9, vitamin D. The sunshine vitamin. But did you know it's often referred to as the kidney vitamin too? That's because your kidneys are the ones responsible for activating this vitamin. However, here's the plot twist. Up to 90% of kidney disease patients have levels of this vitamin that are lower than the mole's basement, and that unfortunately can contribute to the dreaded proteinuria. But wait, there is good news on the horizon. Supplementing this vitamin may result in a very fast improvement in proteinuria levels. In a recent placebo-controlled trial, kidney disease patients who were administered 2 micrograms paricalcitol, a vitamin D analog, were able to see a huge drop in proteinuria levels, 34% after a very short amount of time. Up next, number 8, try acacia fiber. This is something I always recommend. Acacia fiber is a natural fiber that you can supplement and that directly binds to uremic toxins in the intestine, making sure they do not enter the bloodstream. But how effective is it? Well, it's extremely effective. It was used in test subjects with stage 5 CKD who wanted to avoid being tied to a machine. Instead, they were given acacia fiber as a form of intestinal dialysis. It works so well. Some of them were able to avoid dialysis for years. After that, more research showed that this natural substance can help with proteinuria and uremic toxins in all the stages of CKD. So consider adding acacia fiber to your regimen if you aren't using it already. More info about it in the description, by the way. Up next, another natural way of protecting the kidneys. Number 7, natural diuretics. Foods with diuretic properties such as asparagus, ginger, onions, and celery are great. Their gentle diuretic effect help reduce fluid retention and bloating, which can be both uncomfortable and harmful for your health. And there is one more veggie with excellent properties that not many people know about. Dandelion greens. These are the red and green leaves that grow from the hollow stem of a dandelion plant. You have probably seen them often growing as wildflowers in meadows and fields. They're also often found in many natural supplements where they're used to support many natural bodily functions. And the greens in particular may be eaten in a salad to benefit from their diuretic property. They will directly help your filtering organs to function more efficiently. Guys, I'm trying a new style of video today, so let me know if you liked it. Tell me in comment section and don't forget to share this video with people who may also find it interesting. Up next, another tip that helps not just those with kidney disease. Number 6, watch your sodium intake. Now, sodium really is a key mineral when it comes to your health. While kidney disease patients are no longer supposed to closely track their daily potassium and phosphorus intake like they were told to for decades, the recommendation of closely monitoring sodium intake should still be followed. Yes, we live in a world where you can say whatever to bananas, but when it comes to the salt shaker, it's still a definite no. Never get more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, says science, if you care about your heart and kidneys. And also keep in mind that while getting rid of that pesky salt shaker may help, you also need to make sure you are not eating processed foods that are too rich in sodium. Always keep an eye on food labels. Number 5, drink 8 glasses of water per day. Another recommendation that will never change: make sure you are not dehydrated. And even if not everyone needs exactly 8 glasses of water a day, keeping a water bottle with you and making sure you are drinking water before you feel the thirst is always going to help protect the kidneys. Remember that your body needs water to flush out scores and toxins, including extra sugar, sodium, and uremic toxins. Without enough water, these substances are going to keep cruising your bloodstream, damaging the kidneys and cause proteinuria to worsen. There's also food that can really help when it comes to detoxification. Number 4, garlic. Garlic is really amazing and it's something I always recommend. Main reason why it helps is blood pressure. Garlic works incredibly well to help keep blood pressure under control. And there is another reason why you want this superfood on your table. Garlic offers incredibly powerful vasodilating and antioxidant mechanisms that are being studied as a way to decrease proteinuria levels. Just keep in mind that for garlic to work its magic, you need to chop or mince it 10 minutes before consuming it. Up next, what's even more powerful to protect the kidneys from proteinuria? Number 3, take care of diabetes and high blood pressure. Yeah, this should come as no surprise. Diabetes and high blood pressure account for about 3 out of 4 cases of kidney disease, and it's obvious that in order to improve your kidney health, you need to make sure both your blood sugar levels and your blood pressure are under control. There is no improving otherwise. On the bright side, many patients that found ways to make sure their blood pressure and sugar levels were in check saw an immediate improvement in kidney function and proteinuria levels. And a way to do all of this naturally is to, number 2, move more. Regular exercise is directly linked to all-around improvements in all the markers of your health. Benefits of exercising include lowering blood pressure, lowering cholesterol, keeping a healthy body weight, improving blood sugar levels, improving sleep, improving bone density, lowered proteinuria, and more. Regular workouts are actually proven to slow down kidney disease.
Wait. What?
Okay, what? Did I say proven? In the medical world, nothing is ever proven except for the kidney protecting benefits of exercising. In fact, studies are even telling dialysis patients to exercise regularly, even while doing dialysis. And you might be putting off exercising as you don't like going to the gym or running. Instead, why not choose fun exercises like dancing, yoga, or a group lesson? When exercise is fun, you'll have much more motivation to do it regularly. Up next, what can be even more effective against proteinuria levels than exercising? Number 1, watch your phosphorus intake. In the battle against kidney disease, reducing phosphorus intake seems to be the main direction in which modern science is heading. And yeah, clearly the fact that protein sources are the main source of phosphorus too has to do with it. But there is more to phosphorus than just protein. A recent study found out that limiting your intake of this mineral may be enough to reverse kidney disease. And if you want to know more about this topic, I've made a full video about it. It's up here. Limiting your intake of this mineral may be enough to reverse kidney disease and improve renal function, says science. And not a single day goes by without me telling someone that potassium is not as dangerous as people believe. There is, however, a different mineral you get from your diet that people should be way more careful with. There are reports in medical literature of kidney patients in stage 3 and 4 that were able to delay dialysis by years and even to obtain improvements in their GFR numbers just by avoiding this one mineral. This is a mineral that everyone should avoid as much as possible if they care about their kidneys. However, not enough patients know about this issue, and this mineral is definitely a hidden danger for them. But this is going to change now. A large amount of studies is focusing on how to decrease your intake and your absorption of this mineral, because that's how you improve your kidney function. Yes, I'm talking about phosphorus. And while not enough patients are hearing about this from their doctors, today's medical science says that if you want to improve your kidney function, you must make sure you are not getting too much phosphorus. But wait, so you are telling us that while everyone was concerned with potassium, phosphorus was the real cause of kidney damage all along? Yes, many studies are confirming that phosphorus is a dangerous uremic toxin and that higher intakes are linked to a faster decline in kidney function. Excessive phosphorus intake is so bad for the kidneys that research is starting to examine a link between phosphorus intake and kidney damage even in people without chronic kidney disease. Yes, at some point in the future, avoiding high phosphorus foods, and not just foods with added phosphates, may become the healthier option for everyone, not just people with kidney disease, says this recent paper. In short, science confirms that phosphorus intake from foods is one of the main causes of kidney damage. Managing phosphorus correctly is key to help you keep and improve your GFR. Excessive phosphorus is toxic to the kidneys and to basically every other organ in the body, heart and bones especially. But while keeping phosphorus intake to a minimum is key to improve kidney function, you cannot completely avoid this mineral. But don't worry, today we will also see the best strategy to avoid this issue, because that's how you repair your kidneys. We will see what foods to avoid and what to eat, and we will take a look at a vitamin that lowers phosphorus levels. Question: will controlling phosphorus really help improving kidney function? Yes, this is what modern medical science tells us. As I was saying, many studies are being made on this subject and the results are surprisingly positive. In a recent study on 120 CKD patients in stage 3 and 4, controlling phosphorus and protein intake with a very easy to follow dietary plan was key to improve GFR. On average, all patients gain back some kidney function when switching to a low phosphorus, low protein diet. Yeah, in this study published on the British Journal of Nutrition, they all reverse kidney disease with a low phosphorus diet. And there is more. We've recently seen here on Double O Kidney the story of a patient who was rapidly approaching dialysis. Everything changed for him at the point that he is now in stage 2, all thanks to a treatment focused on lowering phosphorus levels. This was also published on a medical journal, by the way. It's clear in my opinion that managing phosphorus correctly is key to improve kidney function. So the question is, how much phosphorus should you have every day in order to improve? This is an important question, but it doesn't come with a direct answer, unfortunately. For a lot of years, kidney disease patients were told to just limit the amount of phosphorus they were getting every day. But that particular strategy never worked, just like limiting potassium never worked. These dietary limitations were completely arbitrary and were never going to help anyone improving their kidney health. The reason is something called bioavailability. You see, while many foods containing phosphorus, including meat, fish, dairy, packaged foods, whole grains, legumes, and more, not all phosphorus is created equal. Not all types of phosphorus are bioavailable, meaning that some types of phosphorus will actually increase your phosphorus levels, and others not as much. In short, arbitrarily limiting phosphorus intake doesn't work. CKD patients in all the stages today are recommended to get tested and make sure that their blood phosphorus level is in the right range. It's still, however, recommended to avoid high phosphorus foods and to use a binder if needed to get in the right range. So, question: what are the correct blood phosphorus levels? According to the National Kidney Foundation, CKD patients in stage 3 and 4 should keep their phosphorus between 2.5 and 4.5 milligrams per DL. So it is very important for everyone to pay attention to their phosphate level on their tests. In order to protect your kidneys, your heart, and your bones, make sure this number is always in the correct range. And clearly, the most common problem kidney patients have with phosphorus levels is them being too high. So the next question is, what strategies works best to keep phosphorus under control? There are 3 things that I want to focus on when it comes to phosphorus. First of all, the diet. There are foods that must be avoided and other foods that not everyone eats enough of. Second, phosphate binders. They can be a great strategy even if they come with some side effects. Third, a certain vitamin that has been shown to help a lot with phosphorus and consequently with kidney health in general. Let's start with the foods because, as we have seen, knowing more about what to eat is key to improve kidney function. Question: what high phosphorus foods must be completely avoided? Some common dietary sources of phosphorus include dairy products, red meat, poultry, and seafood. Processed foods such as deli meats, bacon, sausage, sodas, and sport drinks are also high in phosphate, the worst type of phosphorus. Foods such as baked goods, morning cereal, sauces, and many other packaged foods may also be rich in phosphate. And these foods need to be completely avoided. Now, there are other foods that contain phosphorus that don't need to be completely avoided. These include legumes, nuts, whole wheat breads, and cereals, and some vegetables such as asparagus, tomatoes, and cauliflower. So basically, animal-based foods and processed foods have a type of phosphorus that the body absorbs very well, and that's bad. Phosphorus from plant-based foods, on the other hand, is not well absorbed, and you can pair them with a binder to get the benefits these foods offer without the danger of extra phosphorus. In short, while limiting or avoiding the intake of meat, dairy, and foods containing phosphate as an additive is a must, limiting foods such as grains, nuts, seeds, and other plant-based foods won't really help managing phosphorus. And what about protein? Now guys, there are other ways to decrease phosphorus absorption. More about that in a moment. But I also want to take a look at the phosphorus to protein ratio of certain foods because this is extremely important. You see, while limiting phosphorus is key to improve kidney health, you don't want to completely avoid high-value protein foods unless you are specifically supplementing for that. And I'm talking about keto analogs of amino acids. If you are not taking keto analogs, pay close attention to the next part of the video. Many studies are being done on this topic. And there is one study in particular that was able to help CKD patients in stage 3 and 4 improve their kidney function just by instructing them about how to eat low phosphorus food items with high value protein. By the way, high biological value when referred to a food containing protein means that this particular food contains all the essential amino acids, a complete protein. This is useful for people with kidney disease because if you have CKD, you are supposed to eat very little protein and not wasting any amino acid seems to be key to protect the kidneys. And when I talk about high value or complete protein, I'm mostly talking about protein from animal-based foods. Protein from plant-based foods, on the other hand, is usually considered low biological value. There are a few exceptions though that we will see in a moment. In short, low phosphorus, low protein but high biological value protein seems to be what our kidneys crave. But how can we find these white unicorns of foods? What are the best high-quality protein sources for a renal diet? Let's take a look now at what foods you should get most of your daily protein from if you want to protect your kidneys. Well, there are a few foods that should be considered as high biological value, low phosphorus protein sources for a renal diet. First is egg white. Egg whites are very high in protein compared to the amount of calories you will get, and this is high biological value protein. But egg whites are also lower in phosphorus than any other animal-based protein source, making them a very unique food for people with kidney disease. I believe that thanks to the new studies coming out on this very topic, we will see egg whites being recommended by many nephrologists in the near future. But as for today, make sure to consult with your doctor and that you are not getting too much protein in your diet if you want to add egg whites. Keep in mind that the amount of protein you get every day is way more important for your kidney health than the biological value, alright? There are also some plant-based foods that are high biological value protein and that can be part of a renal diet. including soybeans. Soybeans are commonly consumed in Asia in several different forms, including tofu. While they have many of the health benefits of other legumes, there is one reason why soybeans may be particularly great in a renal diet. They are one of the few plant-based sources of protein that are also complete protein, which means they have all the essential amino acids in them, as I was saying. And plant-based protein do have more kidney protecting benefits than animal-based protein, says science. Also keep in mind that these legumes are very rich in protein, so moderation is key when adding beans and legumes to your diet. And they are also higher in phosphorus than egg whites, but phosphorus is not well absorbed from plant-based foods, which is a big plus. Another plant-based food with high biological value protein is quinoa. Not as rich in protein as soybeans, quinoa is an exceptional food for the renal diet. It's richer in carbs than protein, which is a good thing because it's low in GI carbs we are talking about. And quinoa is a whole grain. It comes with some serious health benefits. Quinoa is packed with nutrients including fiber, and it contains many antioxidant and anti-inflammatory plant compounds. So you won't be eating it for the protein alone. Some other underrated high-quality protein sources include chia seeds, buckwheat, and amaranth. These are not very rich in protein, but they do contain some high-quality protein, making them ideal for the renal diet. And guys, keep in mind that eating a small amount of foods with high biological value protein every day was key to reverse GFR decline in a very important recent study. Here, 120 CKD stage 3 and 4 patients were able to reverse the decline of their GFR. Yes, in this study, all the test subjects got an improvement on average, which is amazing. But keep in mind that all the patients were instructed to limit protein intake to below 0.75 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So never eat too much protein, alright? Now you may ask, how do I know how much protein I should eat per day? As we have seen, protein is essential for your body. Getting the right amount of protein every day is crucial to manage CKD and to keep or improve your GFR level. It will be a serious mistake not knowing how much protein you are eating every day. And what a recent study found out is that most kidney patients are not able to stick to their prescribed protein intake. They usually end up eating too much protein, and this causes their kidney function to decline, which is very bad, obviously. So what should you do? Well, the best course of action is clearly knowing very well how much protein a day you are eating. And well, the study I've mentioned also found that focusing on certain low-protein staple foods was key to decrease protein intake, especially from low biological value protein source, thus improving kidney function. In short, focusing on a diet with a low total protein intake with low phosphorus and most protein coming from high biological value seems to be key to improve kidney function. So question, what can you use to decrease phosphorus absorption? In people with kidney disease, calcium-based phosphate binders are often used to keep phosphorus levels down. These are antacids tablets you can buy at the grocery store with the brand name Tums. Taking them with meals may be helpful because calcium carbonate sticks to the phosphorus in the foods you eat. The phosphorus is then removed through the bowel, effectively stopping your body from taking extra phosphorus in. So ask your doctor if you are not taking one. These also have other benefits. Since they are calcium-based, they can raise your serum calcium, which is usually too low in those with CKD. Another benefit of calcium-based phosphate binders is that they protect you from oxalates. Excess oxalate intake may be an issue for some patients because it's a cause of kidney stones. This may be greatly reduced by taking a binder at meals. And as I was saying, there is also one vitamin that can be used to reduce blood phosphorus levels. This vitamin was used in a case study published on the Orthomolecular Medicine News Service on a patient that was actually able to go from stage 4 back to stage 2 kidney disease. I made a full video about this. It's up here if you want to know more. This video is based on a case study, how a CKD patient went back from advanced stage 4 to stage 2 in just 3 months by taking 1 vitamin and 2 supplements. Dr. Stephen McConnell. He wrote this article about his father. Yes, the patient in this case study is the father of the author. I will refer to the patient as RM during this video. RM was rapidly approaching end-stage renal disease. He was in stage 4 when he was told to prepare for dialysis, but he never actually ended up in dialysis. The reason is that his son is a scientist and he decided to take action and to give his father a combination of 2 supplements and a vitamin. The result obtained with this intervention went beyond any expectation. In this case study, kidney disease was not just reversed. RM was able to gain back a huge portion of his kidney function at the point that, at the time of the publishing of this case study, he was back in stage 2. Here's what the author writes. This approach worked amazingly well for my father because he reversed his CKD by more than 2 stages. He was nearing end-stage renal disease or stage 5 and he reverted back to stage 2, which was a virtual miracle at the time. And guys, the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I believe that what the author of this study says is true. In particular, the author is convinced that the very simple intervention he tested on his father could work on many kidney disease patients and that it can help them avoiding dialysis. Today, I want to examine what he did and I want to share with you how you can apply these findings and use them to protect your kidneys. So question, what did the author of the study use to reverse kidney disease in his father? In this article, the supplements and medications used are very well outlined, which is great for us since we can learn a lot from what the author discovered. As I was saying, the main treatment that saved RM, the CKD stage 4 patient, from dialysis is a single vitamin that his son administered him in high doses. More about this in the next part of the video, because you see, the vitamin was not the only treatment. There are 2 other supplements that were key to his huge improvement. While I, Stephen McConnell, was learning lipidology in the period between 2002 to 2007, my father suddenly went to the ER late one Sunday night and my mother called me hysterically. I took your father to the ER and now they are scheduling him for placement for stents. I was concerned. My father was 81 at the time and he had been jumping rope for 30 minutes twice daily. His body had a deceptively healthy look and his triglycerides were low. But when we put it all together, he was pattern B, insulin resistant. On New Year's Day, about 6 months after his MI and stent placement procedure, I received a call from my mother. Your father is in the hospital. They're going to have to do open heart surgery. To recap, RM, who was 81, was in stage 4 of kidney disease, close to dialysis, and he was also suffering from heart disease, dyslipidemia, and prediabetes. And he also underwent open heart surgery prior to his diagnosis of chronic kidney disease. It was after the surgery that it was discovered that RM had kidney disease and that he was in stage 4. Here's what the author of the study says about this. Later in the spring, they returned home. The physician said, "Hey, I got some bad news for you. Your dad has renal insufficiency." I said, "Oh my God, he's in renal failure. What stage is he?" He did not know. That was a flag. Most clinicians don't know what stage their CKD patients are because the lab doesn't do calculations and the creatinine measure is not reliable or accurate. At the time, I only knew he was in failure, but when I did the GFR calculation, I could see that he was well into the latter portion of CKD stage 4. But guys, even if the conditions of RM seemed dire, his son was able to find a treatment that worked. He is back in stage 2 now. Now, RM being in stage 4, the primary focus of the treatment was to control phosphorus levels because, as the author of the study says, excessive phosphorus is toxic to the kidneys as well as virtually every organ system in the entire body. And he's obviously not the only one saying that. Current medical literature basically tells us that managing phosphorus correctly is key to help you keep and improve your GFR and other key markers of kidney health as well. In fact, studies are linking higher serum phosphate levels to muscle cramps, bone and joint problems, but also heart attacks and strokes. Patients with higher phosphorus levels are known to suffer from higher mortality rate. Phosphorus is the main reason why dairy products are not recommended for people with kidney disease, and also part of the reason why meat and fish and other protein sources are also banned. Now, this is very important. Controlling phosphorus levels was key in this case study for the huge improvement in kidney function obtained. But today, a lot changed about the way phosphorus intake is managed, and many CKD patients are confused. Up to just a few years ago, phosphorus intake was restricted by simply limiting high phosphorus foods such as meat, dairy, and foods containing phosphates. And this is still useful, but what is recommended today is to keep blood phosphorus level in the right range, which is 2.5 to 4.5 milligrams per dl, and not to just restrict phosphorus intake in the diet. What this means is that you should make sure you are being tested for phosphorus levels. Alright, even if you're just in stage 3, your diet and treatment should be based on this level. And since RM's levels were not low enough, the author of the study decided to intervene on that, which was key to RM's improvement. One of the treatments was the high-dose vitamin that we will see next, and also calcium carbonate. As we can see, RM is taking 2 to 4 grams of calcium carbonate antacid tablets, usually sold as TUMS. With his main meals, that's a total of 400 to 1000 milligrams elemental calcium per day. Now, calcium carbonate is often used in kidney disease patients, and it's something I recommended in the past for those with too high phosphorus levels. Taking calcium carbonate with meals is helpful because it sticks to the phosphorus in the foods you eat. The phosphorus is then removed through the bowel, effectively stopping your body from taking extra phosphorus in. There is an added benefit here, which is getting more calcium. But the main benefit is protecting your cardiovascular system and your kidneys from the dangers of excess phosphorus. This is a huge step in the direction of an improvement. Back to RM's case study. Now, controlling phosphorus is key to improve with CKD, but it's not enough. In order for RM to achieve his huge improvement from stage 4 close to dialysis to stage 2, another common complication of CKD needed to be taken care of. I'm talking about metabolic acidosis. Metabolic acidosis is even more common than hyperphosphatemia in those with kidney disease stage 4. It affects around 40% of patients. Metabolic acidosis happens when there is too much acidity in the body for the kidneys to adequately balance it. It's one of the main causes of kidney damage. Metabolic acidosis causes fibrosis in the kidneys or scarring, but it also damages many other organs in the body, including heart and bones. It can cause symptoms such as confusion, headache, nausea, and weakness. It's fair to say that anyone with kidney disease should focus on controlling their body acidity. What we generally do about that is following an alkaline diet. Limiting foods high in protein, but also meat, cheese, processed grains, sweet, soft drinks, and junk foods in general is key for kidney health because it helps controlling body acidity. But in the case of RM, another supplement was used to control this issue. I'm talking about sodium bicarbonate. RM is taking 1.8 grams a day of sodium bicarbonate, 1/3 at lunch and 2/3 at dinner. Now, while sodium bicarbonate is also commonly used in people with CKD, I don't necessarily recommend taking it with meals. Many people find it more tolerable to take it before meals or away from them. And also, finding the right dose for sodium bicarbonate is something that must be done based on blood tests. So while I think that many patients would benefit from taking this supplement, I still recommend getting informed about it. I've talked more in depth about this in my video up here and also down in the description. Now guys, as I was saying, the most important part of RM treatment was the vitamin. Let's see now what vitamin Dr. Stephen McConnell, the scientist behind this incredible success story, prescribed his father RM in order to get him back in stage 2 from stage 4. Here's what he says about it. I have now personally observed more than 25 documented cases of individuals having their CKD progression not only halted but reversed with the addition of 3 to 5 cents worth of niacin per day. So the vitamin he used is immediate release niacin, a natural form of vitamin B3. Which is amazing. And guys, as I was saying, I believe that he could be right about this niacin-based treatment. But keep in mind that high-dose niacin is not an approved treatment for CKD stage 4, okay? So while both sodium bicarbonate and calcium carbonate are frequently used and effective, this vitamin in the dose the author of this paper prescribed his father is something new, still relatively untested. So watch the video until the end and consult your doctor before even thinking about increasing your daily dose of vitamin B3, alright? Now in this study, Dr. Stephen McConnell says that what he is giving his father is a low-dose niacin treatment. However, I think that calling that a low dose is a little bit misleading because what RM is taking is a lot more than the daily value for this vitamin. More about the dose in a moment. Before, a very important question. How can niacin be the key to reverse stage 4 kidney disease? Niacin is a powerful form of vitamin B3 and it's very beneficial for your kidneys, says science. Many studies show niacin can lower high cholesterol levels, protecting your heart and kidneys. And today, science is starting to support the use of niacin as a way to protect the kidneys. A review of studies published on the American Journal of Kidney Diseases concluded that niacin has a favorable impact on multiple risk factors affecting the rate of GFR decline, such as HDL concentration and function, triglyceride level, oxidant stress, inflammatory markers, endothelial function, and serum phosphorus levels. The authors of this meta-analysis published on AJKD believe that niacin may seriously decrease all-cause mortality in people with kidney disease. And this is nothing new, by the way. Today, CKD patients are usually recommended to supplement all B vitamins, niacin included. Now, phosphorus control is one of the main reasons why niacin is so helpful for CKD patients. As we have seen, controlling phosphorus is key to protect the kidneys. Another reason is the property of niacin of protecting the kidneys from acute kidney injury, which seems to be especially important for cardiac bypass surgery patients like RM. And while niacin is also naturally found in many foods like leafy greens, quinoa, muesli, white rice, and corn on the cob, the dose that RM is being given is pretty high compared to what you could get from the diet alone. So question, what dose niacin was used here? While the author doesn't specify what dose his father is receiving, he outlines a range of doses supported by several studies. In particular, 100 to 500 milligrams of immediate release niacin 1 to 3 times a day is what he recommends. And while he calls it low dose, keep in mind that doctors recommend periodic liver function tests when taking 100 milligrams per day of niacin or more. In fact, if you are taking a renal multivitamin, you are probably receiving just around 20 milligrams a day of niacin. So as I was saying, consult your doctor if you think a higher dose could benefit you. And guys, if you want to watch more success stories like this one, my video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. See you on Sunday.